Hey guys, Dusty back here with Blind-Droid Tech, and in this video, I just wanted to briefly go through some of the settings for the Android TalkBack. Now, if you didn't catch my previous video, that was my very first video, and it just kind of outlined what the goal was for this channel, which is just to bring to light the accessibility within the Android spectrum of things. Obviously, iOS is a very, very popular operating system for the blind community, but I have been personally using Android for the last 2 years, actually the last 7 years or so, but I've been using Google TalkBack off and on for the last 3 or 4 years. So, without any further ado, let's get into it. So, again, here is TalkBack. Now, I'm going to use a quick action just to get into the settings, so... Okay.
Pause feedback in list 9 items.
So...
Text-to-speech settings. TalkBack settings.
Okay. So, TalkBack settings.
TalkBack settings. Version 5.2.0.
And then right there at the top, it'll tell you what the version of TalkBack is.
Speech in list 30 items.
And then you got your headings.
Speech volume 50% of media volume.
And then...
Text-to-speech settings. Verbosity.
So,
Text-to-speech settings.
text-to-speech settings. It's not much in here, so we'll go through this really quick.
Preferred engine in list. Text-to-speech output out of list.
Alright.
Preferred engine in list 7 items.
So, preferred engines, obviously your stock is going to be Google Text-to-Speech Engine. But if you are on a Samsung device, there will also be the Samsung TTS engine, Text-to-Speech Engine. Now, this is personal preference. It all goes based on how you want yours to sound. The people that I've used TalkBack in front of, just like this stock voice that's on here now.
Checked radio button.
Okay?
Google Text-to-Speech Engine. Launch engine settings button.
And then you can check your settings. General.
Speech rate. Pitch change normal. Speech rate.
So.
Speech rate. Very slow in list 5 item. Slow. Normal. Fast. Very fast. Cancel button out of list. Very fast in list 5 items. Fast. Very fast.
So, very fast.
This is an example of speech synthesis in English. Fast. Checked very fast. This is an example of speech synthesis in English. Pitch change nor speech rate general. Pitch listen default language status English United States is fully listen to an example play example of speech rate and pitch change.
Okay.
Pitch change normal. Speech rate.
So I have it on very fast, the highest it can go. And if we go to
Launch engine settings button.
Text-to-Speech Engine settings.
Settings language use system language.
Now, I apologize guys, this is probably going to be a longer video. There are a lot of settings within the Google Text-to-Speech and Google TalkBack software. So,
settings for Google Text-to-Speech Engine. Install voice data. Install the voice data required for speech synthesis.
So what this is pretty much just your language and what kind of voice you want. So.
Google TTS voice data. More options button. Bengali, Bangladesh, in list 30. Bengali, India. Cantonese, Hong Kong. Chinese, China. Chinese, Taiwan. Czech, Czech Republic. Danish, Denmark. Dutch, Netherlands. English, Australia. English, India. English, United Kingdom. English, United States.
And you can go through all these, and if you go to English US.
Voice set 1, 8.2 megabytes. English, United States voice set 1, 8.2 megabytes. Not checked radio button, female, select voice, out of list.
Okay, so this is your stock voice set.
Not checked radio button, female, in list 7, play sample text for female button.
Then you can place examples for each of these. I'm not going to, I'll let you go through that yourself. But
not checked radio button, male 1. Play sample text for male
you
1
got
button.
male.
This is an example of speech synthesis in English.
So, it's all based on what you want.
Not checked radio button, male 1.
But.
Not checked radio button, female. Play sample text for female. This is an example of speech synthesis in English.
Yep. So.
Voice set 1, 8.2 megabytes.
Alright.
Settings for Google Text-to-Speech Engine. Install voice data. Install the voice data.
So, We're going to go back.
Listen to an example. Play default language status English United. Other feedback. Shake to use verbosity. Text speech volume. Text to speech settings.
Alright, so now we're done with the text-to-speech settings.
Verbosity.
Verbosity, this is brand new. This just got released in the 5.2.0 update, which happened a couple days ago.
Speak usage. Keyboard echo. Verbosity details. Keyboard echo. Always speak type keys. Speak usage hints. Usage hints are not spoken when moving. Accessibility focus off switch.
So if you do this, what it'll do is it'll
Speak list and grid information. List and grid information is
It'll
spoken
pretty
on
much
switch.
tell you what it's telling me now, except it gives you more. Think about this as the JAWS verbosity, so the more, you can have it to have you do, to let you know the hints, the tutorial stuff, double tap and hold to long press, double tap to activate. If you need that on in the beginning, you can turn it on. I think it's on by default. But because I've been through it so many times, each phone I get my account on, it'll automatically sync up my talkback settings.
Speak phonetic letters. Phonetic letters are spoken. Speak usage hints. Usage hints are not spoken when speak element type. Speak list and grid information. List and grid information is spoken on switch.
List and grid information, so you can
Keyboard echo. Always speak type
view
keys in list
info,
11 items.
or you can get that info.
Speak list. Speak element type. Element type is spoken for focused items on
So
switch.
this is like your edit boxes, your radio boxes, your check boxes, search fields, combo boxes, all that.
Speak phonetic letters. Phonetic letters are spoken when long pressing on the keyboard and moving the accessibility focus by a character on switch.
So this A, B, C, F, all that, that's what that is.
Use pitch changes. Speak keyboard feedback in a lower pitched voice on switch.
And then you can you can change your pitch if you want your pitch to be a different volume for your keyboard when you're typing rather than just when it's talking to you.
Speak when screen is off. Notifications are spoken when the screen is
And
off.
this
on
you
switch.
can choose whether or not to do it pretty much while the screen's off. If you get a text message, it'll say who it's from and it'll say the message.
Element description.
And then your element description.
Item description order. State name type. Element description. Speak usage hints.
Okay.
Element description.
So this is these are headings. If it doesn't say, if it doesn't say anything, you can't do anything with it.
Item description order. State name type.
And then this you can change if you wanted to say the type and then the name, or the name and then the type. I just have it do the name, so it'll say first name, edit box, last name, edit box, stuff like that.
Navigate up button. Out of list.
And then when you hear
Item description order.
that,
Item description order. State name.
that means you've reached the bottom of the list. And if you swipe right,
Navigate up button. Out of list.
it'll go back to the top.
Vibration. Use proximity sensor. Proximity verbosity. Use proximity sensor.
Okay, so proximity sensors are one of the sensors, one of the many that are on these phones nowadays. And the proximity sensors, pretty much, if you have your phone in your pocket or something like that, if you have your hand over the proximity sensor, or if you have the phone face down, it should not read. Now, there may or may not be a bug here and there that it will continue reading. I mean, there's always going to be bugs in this technology, but they are still working on it. I just got this update, like I said, a few days ago, and then the previous update was about a week or so ago. So they're getting on this talkback updating again.
Shake to start continuous reading. Disabled.
And then this is your, you can shake it. It is self-explanatory.
Other
I don't
feedback.
want to.
Shake to start. Other feedback.
I don't want to copy what she's saying.
Vibration feedback. Off switch.
Then this, I have it off to save a little bit of battery.
Sound feedback on switch.
This, you can hear it's that little clicking.
Focus speech audio. Decrease other audio volume while speaking. Off switch.
And you can choose whether or not you want the voice of the talkback to be the dominant voice over anything else.
Sound volume 50% of media volume.
So
Focus
if
speech
you're
audio.
playing
Decrease other audio
music or
volume while speaking.
whatever
Off
and
switch.
you turn on your screen, it'll turn down your music and you'll hear this more prominently than the music.
Sound volume 50% of media volume.
Then this is your 50% of media volume. So the calls are going to be louder than the voice. The music's going to be louder than the voice automatically.
Touch exploration.
And this is what allows you to touch and drag along the screen, or to drag your finger on the screen to identify items, or you can swipe left and right like I'm doing now.
Explore by touch on switch. Automatically scroll lists on switch. Single tap activation. Experimental tap on currently focused item to activate off switch.
Then this,
Automatic single tap activation. Experimental tap on currently
I just
focused item
leave
to
it
activate
off
switch.
because that way you don't want to accidentally click something if that's not what you're trying to do. That way double tap is just easier to guarantee you're going into what you want to go into, not what you accidentally hit.
Show context menu as list on switch.
Context menus are usually in like a circular fashion, but you can have them either be in like a kind of like the iPhone when you touch the screen with two fingers and twist. It's that type of thing, but you just use your finger and drag it in a circle. I just have it lists so it'll be easier.
Launch talkback tutorial.
And then you can go through your talkback tutorial. It's got several different lessons that'll let you know how to edit text box fields and all that. Selection,
labels.
how to select characters or words to delete from text that you're typing or whatever.
Custom labels. Gestures. Show context menu as list on launch talkback tutorial. Gestures.
Alright, now this right here is really cool. This is something I use all the time.
Swipe up previous navigation setting in list 21
So
items.
navigation settings are your characters, words, lines, paragraphs.
Characters. Words. Lines. Paragraphs. Default.
Okay. Default is your next and previous item.
Swipe down. Next navigation setting. Swipe left. Previous item.
Yep.
Swipe right. Next item. Swipe up then down. Focus first item on
Now,
screen.
these are a little tricky because these are a single motion. So you do the entire up, then down, or left, then right, or whatever in a single motion without lifting your finger. So I put my finger on the screen and I go up,
Swipe
down.
Swipe up then right.
Oh,
Open local
hold on,
context
I
menu
didn't
in
do
list
that
21
right.
items. Navigate up button out of list.
Okay, so you heard that pew, and then navigate up. That brought me back to the very top of the page,
Swipe
or
down then up.
the
Focus last item on screen
screen.
in list 21 items. Swipe up then down. Focus first item on screen. Swipe down then up. Focus
And
last
then
item on
that'll
screen.
do the same thing, but in reverse, so it'll take you to the very bottom if you know you want to be at the very bottom of a list.
Swipe left then right. Scroll back. Swipe right then left. Scroll forward. Swipe up then right. Open local context menu. Swipe up then right. Open local context menu.
Now, these, the up then right, you're pretty much doing an uppercase L shape. So you're doing long up and then short over, or long down and short right or left, whatever it says. So this one, go up then right.
Swipe right. Next item in list 21 items. Swipe up then down. Focus first. Swipe down then up. Swipe left then right. Scroll back. Swipe right. Swipe up then right. Open local context.
There we go. See, I think it just kind of bugged there for a minute.
Default in list 5 items. Local context menu out of list.
So this is your local context menu. Now, right now, there's nothing else other than navigation settings to go through. So this is
Default in
all
list 5 items. Characters. Words. Lines. Paragraphs.
that it displays.
Swipe up then
But
right.
if you
Open
have
local context
other
menu in list
options
21 items.
available, it'll display cursor settings, navigation settings, or custom actions, depending on where you are in the operating system.
Swipe up then left. Home button.
Up then left brings you to the home screen.
Swipe down then right. Open global context menu.
Down then right.
Read from top. Global context menu.
This
out
is
of
your
list.
global context menu.
Read from top in list 9 items. Read from next item. Repeat last utterance. Spell last utterance. Copy last utterance to clipboard. Pause feedback. Talkback settings. Text to speech settings. Talkback settings. Text to dim screen. Cancel button out of list.
So, these are all your settings. Now, if this speed is too fast, please let me know and I will go ahead and turn it down for future videos.
Swipe down then right. Open global. Swipe left then up. Overview button. Swipe left then down. Unassigned. Swipe right then up. Unassigned. Swipe right then down. Swipe down then left. Back button. Swipe down then right. Open global context menu.
'Kay.
Swipe down then left. Back button.
So down then left, I have set to the back button. So you're pretty much doing a backwards L.
Swipe right then down. Open notifications.
Right then down. So the notification is your notification tray, kind of like your iPhone where you swipe down from the top of the screen with two fingers and that brings down your notification panel. It usually says it. I don't think it's doing it. I think it's not doing it right now because I'm recording. But normally it would say notification shade is what they call it. But it's pretty much where all your notifications come in.
12.5 gigabytes unlimited T-Mobile 20 minutes ago. High-speed internet.
So right now I'm at 12.5 gigabytes of unlimited for my T-Mobile data.
Stop. AZ screen recorder. The screen
And
is
then
being
that's
recorded.
my
Tap here.
screen
Stop.
recorder. Okay.
Swipe right then up. Unassigned. In list 20. Swipe left then down. Unassigned.
And you have a couple that are automatically unassigned. And you can click on these and change them to whatever you want. So if a different gesture is going to be easier for some, you can change it. Excuse me, that was a random hiccup there. It'll let you customize it to your liking.
Swipe left then up. Overview button.
Now, one other thing I want to touch on. So the top of the screen is your status bar.
Navigate up button. Out of list. T-Mobile notification. 12.5 gigabytes unlimited.
So that's your status bar.
Bluetooth on. NFC turned on. 4G. Phone 3 bars. Battery 98%. 10:44 p.m.
So that's what's all in your status bar. And then if you swipe again,
AZ screen recorder notification.
and you heard that, boom, that means you reach the very bottom or the end, and then it'll wrap around.
Single side tap.
Okay. And then there's even tapping the device. Now, those are experimental right now, and there's also a tap sensitivity. So you can set it to soft, medium, or hard tap to activate.
Keyboard shortcuts. Just show context menu is launch gestures. Custom labels.
Another thing I like, I think, I know iOS can do it too, but this is very convenient if you have apps that say unlabeled button or unlabeled edit box. You can either get somebody with sight if you have somebody you live with, or you can usually click the button and it won't automatically do something. Usually the submit or continue or next buttons are labeled, but if they are not, then you can experimentally tap, because more often than not, it's not going to be a damaging tap. On most apps, it's just some of these developers do not label all their buttons.
Miscellaneous. Keyboard shortcuts.
That's if you have a keyboard on your device, a physical keyboard. You can do the same thing that you do on JAWS, NVDA, Window Eyes, Magic with JAWS on it, or Magic with voice.
Talkback suspend and resume shortcut. Long press volume up and down keys on switch.
Now, this is very convenient if you need somebody sighted to use your device, or you're passing them the phone to make a call or something. You can suspend your talkback for them just by holding the up and down volume key at the same time. Just long hold it, and it'll say talkback suspended.
Dim screen when talkback is enabled. Off switch.
And then you can choose whether or not to have your screen automatically dim when talkback's enabled. I have it off because I still have a little bit of vision, but you can turn that on if you don't have any vision. It'll save you quite a bit of battery life, actually. Obviously, if the screen's not on, that's the most draining battery using part of the device is the display, especially nowadays on these Android devices, because most of them are what they call Quad HD, which are usually 2660 by 1440 or 2560 by 1440, depending on the device. Now the Galaxy S8 is 2960 by 1440, so it's a little bit taller than normal other devices.
Dim screen shortcut. Press both volume keys 3 times quickly to enable or disable screen.
Now
to make volume switch.
this, you got to do it kind of fast, but you just got to do it without a hesitation. So 1, 2, 3. I don't know why it didn't say screen dim, but the screen just dimmed right there. And then if you do it again, it just resumed.
Miscellaneous.
Okay.
Keyboard shortcut. Talkback dim screen when dim screen shortcut. Press both volume keys 3 times. Home. Dim screen shortcut. Press both. Resume from suspend when lock screen is shown.
Now, if you have it suspended for some reason and you want to make sure that you can use your device again, you can set
privacy policy. Help develop. Open talkback at the Play
Sorry.
Store. Resume from suspend when lock screen.
There we go. Click on it.
When resume from suspend out of list. When screen turns on in list 3 items.
You can either choose.
Checked when lock screen is shown. From notification only. Checked when screen turns on.
Those are your 3 options.
Developer settings in list. Open top. Dim screen shortcut. Resume from suspend. Open talkback at the Play Store.
And
Current
then you
talkback version
can open it up
5.2.0.23.
at the Play Store if there's an update, or if you want to get more info on it, or share it with somebody.
Developer settings.
These normally you're not going to go into or touch. That's for people trying to develop applications. They can see what it's saying on the screen while they're developing their apps or whatnot.
Help and feedback.
And then obviously if you have any feedback or something you want,
Private terms of service. Privacy policy.
then obviously your standard. So that's the settings of TalkBack. I don't want to make this video too long, but there's a lot more videos to come. Again, this is very, very in-depth subject, so I could go on literally for days and show you features of this. If you have any other features that you specifically want to see in detail, let me know in the comment section down below the video. There will be I suppose, before I end this, let's go ahead and go through the YouTube app on Android so you guys can kind of get a feel for where everything is. Now, they're doing some work on my tower right now in my area, so speeds might be a little slower than normal, but I'm still on 4G LTE, so it shouldn't be that bad. So you start out, here's your home screen. Search button.
More options button. Selected. Home button. Trending button. Subscriptions. New content is available button. Account button.
Okay, so let's just pull up a random video. So
Tech
we're
Life channel
going
in list 24 items.
to subscriptions.
7 minutes 30 seconds. RX 580 versus RX 480 1080p ultra wide with R717.
Okay, so
0 of 0 disabled. Pause video. Pause video button.
okay, so now you're gonna start out. The video is gonna be playing at the top of the screen.
Fast forward button. Next video button. Hide controls button.
Can hide your controls if you can see, so you don't see the rewind, play, or fast forward buttons on the screen.
Enter full screen button.
And also enter full screen. You can also do that by just
RX 580 versus RX 480
tilting the phone to the side.
R71700X 592
Alright,
views.
come on.
Play video
Stop
button.
talking.
RX 580 versus
Alright.
RX 480 1080p ultra wide. More button.
Now, this is your
RX 580
this
versus
is your title of the
RX
video,
480 1080p
right
ultra
under
wide
the
with
video.
R717. More button.
More button. So that's like
Like this video along with 76 other people. Less button.
this just tells you the gives you the description of the video.
Published on May 1st, 2017. Become a channel patron. www.patreon.com/salazarstudio. Add
Okay.
to. Current setting is occasional. Dislike this video along with 2
Alright,
other RX
hold on.
580 versus less button.
Okay, so we're going to go back to less.
Like this video along with 76 other people.
And then your next button is your like button.
Dislike this video along with 2 other
Next
people.
is dislike.
Share. Save offline button. Add to. Salazar Studio 224K
And
subscribers.
then it tells you what your channel name that you're watching is.
Unsubscribe from this channel.
Then the next one will give you an option to subscribe or unsubscribe depending on what you have.
Current setting is occasional notifications.
And
You
then
have
the
to change your
next is a
notification setting for
little
Salazar Studio.
bell that you can either get no notifications, you can get occasional notifications, or you can get all video notifications. So whenever a new video is posted, you can get notifications. It'll randomly give you video notifications if you do occasional, or obviously none, you won't get any.
Local housekeepers wanted. Add care.com. Create an online profile.
And
for
then
free.
there
Search
are
jobs by
ads,
location and pay rate.
obviously, again. Now,
11 minutes progress bar. Salazar Studio 32K views.
under that are going to be some videos.
6 minutes. 2. How a 96 minutes.
You
10
can
seconds.
hear that.
7 minutes more button.
That's the moving up in the list.
Add a public comment 3 period.
And then here's where your comments
Hit
are.
by Salazar Studio. Add a
So,
public comment 3 period.
okay. Now that we got that, so you guys can see how the YouTube app is laid out. I hope you guys like this video. Again, sorry it was a long video, but there's a lot to cover. And that was just for the settings of TalkBack and text-to-speech engine. So, if you like this video, please hit that like button, share button, and subscribe so you can help me out. Again, this is just supposed to be an informational channel, interactive, and all. So, enjoy. Have a good rest of your evening, and I'll talk to you in the next one.
Pause.